Good morning, dear students. Let's begin our science class. It's your new session, and I will be your mentor for this academic session. I will be teaching you physics and chemistry. So, let's start today with our chemistry unit, and in this unit, we are starting with our first chapter, that is synthetic fibers and plastics. Now, let's read the introduction of this chapter. Fabrics are made from the fibers which are obtained from natural or artificial sources. This we all know. Natural fibers like cotton, wool, and silk are obtained from plants and animals. And synthetic fibers are prepared by human in industry, example rayon, nylon, and polyester. Now let's see synthetic fibers. Now our chapter is divided into two parts, and we are starting first with synthetic fiber and then we will study about the plastics. Now, what is a polymer? Before we start with our synthetic fibers, we should know that what is the meaning of polymer, and it is a very important 3 mark question, or it can be asked as a definition. So, a synthetic fiber is composed of a chain which are joined together by small units. These small units are very small and these compose together to form a synthetic fiber. These small units combine together to form a polymer. So this long chain is called polymer, which is actually composed of many small units. Polymer is a Latin word in which the poly means many and mers means small units. A natural example of polymer is cellulose, which is made up of many units of glucose. When we see polymer and when we see the cellulose, the structure of cellulose is given over here, which we see as many glucose units together form the cellulose, and this is a typical polymer structure. Now let's see the various types of synthetic fibers. This is an important 5 mark question in the board examination point of view. They can directly ask you that mention different types of synthetic fibers along with their properties, or directly single synthetic fiber may be asked in detail. So these possible make 3 mark or 5 mark question, and in between we'll read very many 1 mark questions also. Now let's see first rayon and its need. Now the first synthetic fiber we see is rayon. Now what is rayon and what is its need? So fabric obtained from silk is very costly and hence unaffordable because many people cannot buy silk due to its high price. That's why we cannot buy it, but its beautiful texture of silk fascinated everybody, and hence the attempts were made to prepare its synthetic form, which would be cheap. And towards the end of 19th century, scientists were able to make its synthetic form, and the fiber that was obtained from wool pulp is called rayon. It resembles like silk, but it is obtained from a natural source, which is a wood pulp. Hence it is not purely synthetic, but it is human made. So we can say that it is included in the synthetic fibers, and it is cheaper than silk and can also be woven like silk fibers. So it replaced silk, and this is the first synthetic fiber which was discovered in the world. Now also it is mixed with cotton to make bed sheets. It's one of the use of rayon, and you can see the diagram of rayon also. Now let's begin with our next synthetic fiber, that is nylon. Now describe nylon and why is it so popular and what are its uses. These are the 3 questions which come in our mind, and these are also that you need to write in your notebooks. Now nylon is another man-made synthetic fiber. In 1931 it was made without using any natural source. In rayon we saw that it was made from wood pulp, whereas in nylon it was made from coal, water and air. So it was not a natural source. And the nylon, another is property is that it is very strong, it is elastic, it is lustrous is the one which has a shine, and it is durable means long lasting, means any nylon cloth that you have, you can wear it for many years. Now the uses of nylon, the third part of this question, like many articles like socks and the tents, ropes, toothbrushes, car seat belts, bags, curtains are made from nylon. Also, these are nylon is used in parachutes and its thread is stronger than a steel wire. So you can imagine how strong is nylon fiber, and due to its strong nature, it was very popular and was designed in 1931. You can see the diagram of the nylon, which you have seen many times, the nylon ropes which are available. Now let's discuss what is a polyester and why is it preferred, and we should give the examples. Now what is a polyester? It is another synthetic fiber that is a polymer of many ester units. You can see from the name itself, polyester. Poly means many, ester means the unit of ester. Easter we pronounce it. And what is a ester that you will be learning in your higher classes? These are actually the sweet smelling compounds. Now why is it preferred? Because the fabric made from this fiber don't get wrinkled and it regains crisp, and it is easy to wash, and it is used in making dress material. Now give its examples. So the examples of polyester are very important. Terylene, that is terry plus lean, then terrycot. So terylene plus cotton, which forms terrycot. Terylene is one of the synthetic fiber, and when we blend it with terrycot or cotton, we get terrycot, and when we blend terylene with wool, then we get terylene and wool. The similar for of it is PET. PET is a very important question, 1 mark important question, and similarly terrycot and terry wool are also 1 mark important question. The full form of PET is polyethylene terephthalate, and that is a very similar kind of polyester, and that's why we study over here. It is given in NCERT also. It is used to make utensils, films and wires. So these are the uses of polyester. We have given the examples of polyester, as well as we have discussed that what is polyester. These all are very important according to board examination point of view. They can directly ask on the single one the question, or they can frame the questions together, that we need to describe the various type of synthetic fibers that we see along and also their use. Now on NCERT page number 35 we discuss the next heading, which is an important heading, and that is acrylic. So now what is acrylic, that we need to know. Define acrylic and why is it preferred. Now what is the importance of acrylic, that we will be also getting to know over here. It is given on NCERT page number 35 column number 1. Now some sweaters we wear are not actually made of wool, like woolen sweaters that some guarantee you are very cheap. So that is the reason that they are not really made up of wool. Some fibers which actually resemble like wool, those are acrylic fibers. They are made from another type of synthetic fiber which resembles wool and called acrylic, and hence acrylic is called synthetic wool. It is again important 1 mark question. So in the board examination they can directly ask you as a 3 mark question that define acrylic and why is it preferred, or they can ask you 1 mark question that which fiber is also called as synthetic wool. Now it is preferred as it is very cheap than wool, and these are also available in the variety of colors. Now an important heading is given over there which we are discussing. You can see the diagram of acrylic. Now let's study another important topic which has been asked in the board examination also, and it is also given on page number 35 under the column 1 and column 2 combined. That is, why do we prefer synthetic fiber over natural fibers? Here we need to write the advantages of synthetic fibers over the natural fibers. So the first advantage is it is cheap cost, means it is easily affordable. The second is it is more durable, means we can wear it for a longer time, we can use it for a longer time as compared to natural fibers which get damaged earlier. It is easily available in the market. Whenever you go for the cloth shop, you can see that the synthetic fiber cloths are easily available than natural fiber, and these are the alternating forms available. This is a very important heading, as we already discussed that in the case of Rayon, that replaced the silk, and hence we used rayon as a silk that was actually the alternating form available for the silk, and that similar of that we get polyester, and which was actually resembling wool, and that's why we say that we can use its alternating form as polyester, and it is very strong As we all know that these fibers are very strong, we have taken the example of nylon. These are elastic. So this is all for the properties of the synthetic fibers. Now we are discussing the characteristics of synthetic fiber. That is our next heading, which is given on page number 35. But before that, let us study what are the disadvantages of the synthetic fibers. So this is a important question which has been asked in CBSE 2020 in two parts. That first is what are the disadvantages of synthetic fibers, and the second one is what are the petrochemicals, and you need to explain them. So first we will see what is synthetic fiber. We have already seen, and now we will see what are the disadvantages. Like we studied the uses and why these are preferred, but now we will see what are the disadvantages and why people generally avoid also. So now let's see that these are non-biodegradable and hence they do not decompose. Second is when burnt, these melt and stick to the body and hence not advisable while working near the fires, because if your cloth get fire, it will, instead of moving out, you are not able to rescue because it will stick to your body. And all synthetic fibers are prepared. Now this is another B part of the question, that the synthetic fibers are prepared from the petroleum products only. Means the raw materials which are used for preparation of synthetic fibers are obtained from petroleum products, and these raw materials are called petrochemicals. So we can see that petrochemicals are obtained from petroleum product origin and which are used to prepare the synthetic fibers. So you can see the diagram of the petrochemical also. Now let's study another topic given on page number 35, and in the last paragraph of column number 2, that is what are the characteristics of synthetic fibers, and it was asked in CBSE 2011. First is that they dry up very quickly. The second one is that they are more durable. The third one is that they are available in variety of colors. Along with blending, we can see the vast variety of colors that are available for synthetic fibers. They are also affordable as they are cheap of cost and they are readily available in the market. Also, they soak less water than natural ones. When we wash the clothes, or whenever by some fault the water fell on our clothes, in natural fibers our whole cloth becomes wet and it is very difficult to dry it because it takes a time. Whereas in the case of synthetic fiber, the water is not soaked much and it dries faster, and thence we see that they dry up quickly. That's all for the day, students. In our next class we'll start with our new chapter, that is the plastics.